I'll be talking today about what I called Agile game changers, so things that will work extremely well for me. So we'll start with a little disclaimer, if we're able to switch a slide. Oh yeah, we're able to. Okay, so who I am. I'm Marek Kirejczyk. I'm currently VP of Engineering at a company called Daftcode. I'm also Agile coach at Procognita. You can get free coaching at Procognita just outside our room. I am also co-founder of a company called El Passion, which is a software house. I'm also an advisor there. And I'm one of the founders of Agile Warsaw, which is the biggest Polish Agile community. Let's see if we can change the slide. Yes, we can. A short disclaimer before we go further. Those are my personal opinions. Different coaches, different practitioners might have different ones. But it took me quite a while to get to those, and I think it's very valuable to kind of see the mindset of people who are doing it for a while, and I would love to see mindsets of other people as well. Okay, so let's jump to the presentation. We have, I believe there are three levels of Agile implementation that you can have. You can have first level, which is organizational one. You can have second level, which is a technical one, and you can have a third level, which is a product one. And also there is like 4 extra levels for scaling. So it's one thing to do all those 3 things just for the team. It's a completely different thing to do it for the whole big company. So let's talk about level 1, process. So let's start with Kanban. There are one of two most popular processes. Actually, a lot of people would tell you that Kanban is not a process, it's something that you do to your process. I won't get into details today. This is how implementation of Kanban could look like. I believe when you start implementing Agile and you start that with Kanban, you can fairly quickly get to the point when you start understanding who is doing what are the priorities, when something will be done, fix all those situations when, I'm working for that for 3 days, I didn't know I have to work on something else, and with some extra techniques, with some extra effort, you can get rid of bugs problems too. So, and probably some other problems as well. So what I'm saying is, if you start with Kanban, you can kind of deal with all those basic problems pretty fast. With Kanban, it's also really great because you don't have to ask for permission. If you want to implement Kanban, you can just go straight ahead without asking managers, telling that don't tell managers you're doing Agile. They already have opinion about it. So we can just start with Kanban, use all the good techniques, and when the manager comes and says, I need to do something fast, then you show the Kanban board and say, okay, how do we prioritize? Is it more or less important, this or that? Which would be just one example of what you can do with Kanban. So I won't talk a lot about Kanban. I invite you to, if you want to learn more, there is a great talk by Tomasz and Mateusz. They have Yes We Kanban later today, and also on the third day they have a Get Kanban with the Kanban game workshop. The next thing, the next process you can consider is Scrum. And again, I won't go into details. I believe that when you start Agile and you start implementing that with Scrum, you can pretty fast get 2 more things that you can do with Kanban. If you do a good Kanban, you can get that too. But if you want a quick result, then you can go with Scrum. And I believe that if you do it with a good coach, you can get continuous improvement right away. That means that your team is not only have a different process, but they actually improve the process on their own and improve the way they work. And I believe that what Scrum gives you as well is it gives you better communication to stakeholders. So it is designed to make sure that stakeholders get informed on what's going on, and it's really easy with Scrum. Again, I'm not going into any details. Scrum Primer by Michał. Again, a talk today that I invite you to if you would like to learn more about Scrum. There are 2 more things about Scrum. One is Scrum Patterns. Scrum Patterns is the catalog of good practices made by Jeff Sutherland, one of the creators of Scrum. And you can go there, and if you have any problems with your Scrum, there is probably a pattern. So there is a problem, and there is an explanation how you can solve that problem. And one more thing about Scrum is called Scrum Shock Therapy. Again, idea by Jeff Sutherland, who is creator of Scrum. And it's idea that you have to follow up with a really good coach, really good Scrum coach, that there are a bunch of rules that you have to do exactly everything like the coach says. Everybody gets trained. Team needs to deliver 3 sprints in a row before they can start improving the no process. And in my experience, it's really great. It can get you up to speed in a month. So you have no experience with Scrum whatsoever. A month later, you're fairly good Scrum team. Again, my personal opinion. Some coaches might disagree. And there's one more game changer on process side. Actually, not sure if it's a process. It falls into category of process, but it's called release cycle. Mary Poppendick talked a lot about this today. So release cycle, if you release to production often, like weekly, that makes all the difference from releasing every month. That makes all the difference from releasing once a year. Yeah, just one nice quote. Nothing improves team's morale than a release to production. So that was level 1, process. With process, you can get a lot of benefits. If you get the process right, and you can get the process right fairly quickly, then your team will speed up. It's going to be visual, it's going to be better communication, it's going to be all those different things. But at the end of the day, what higher management will see, okay, it took us a year to do a project, now we have week, something is there. After half a year, we actually have something working. So that's what's visible from the distance. But you can only go that far with the process. You cannot improve your team and make it crazy good just with the process. If you want to go that far, well, then you need to go further. And the second level is technical practices. I'll be talking not so much about technical practices, just a couple of most important thoughts. First of all, the most important technical practice is test-driven development. And training in test-driven development is good. Code Dojo is better than just a training that you actually train. But the best way to implement good technical practices in a team is to have a change agent. A change agent is someone who already is really good at that and is joining a team for a couple of months and working in a pair individually with every single person for a while until they know how to do test-driven well. Test-driven is not easy technique to learn. It's easy technique to do once you get it, but it takes a while to learn all the nuances of test-driven development. So the best way to learn test-driven development and to use test-driven development is pair programming. Pair programming is a difficult practice to start with. So you can start with code review first, or if you have a change agent, start with pair programming and then move to code review once you feel the level in the team kind of averages. And one word of warning, if you have a technical debt, there is only one way to get rid of it. It's consistent effort throughout the time that you need to take into refactoring the code, writing the tests, and so on. So that would be technical level. If you want to learn more, again, there is a great talk by Jakub Nabdaring about extreme programming. He will be talking all about those practices that I mentioned before. And we're jumping to level 3, so we can have greatly organized team, and it's really fast. You really push it to the buyers, and it's really technical excellence is their second name, and they are really good. But it doesn't mean that you produce a software that someone is actually using, or it doesn't mean that the software that you produce is actually bringing the money or any kind of value to the customer. So at level 3, we say, okay, at level 1 and 2, you can have a really good project team. But if you want to have a product team, that's a little bit different thing. And the difference between project and product team is that a project team aim is to deliver working software, while the product team aim is to deliver value. So you might find yourself into a situation that you don't produce working software, but you deliver a value, and it's a better job than the first one. So how do we know that we did a good job as a project team? Well, there are no bugs in the software. It's delivered fast. It's what product owner wanted, not something else. How do we know that the product team did a good job? Well, they delivered a value. The best measurements of value is money. If we can then make money right away, then validated learning. So data that shows we are getting somewhere, we are getting closer to the money. It might be growth, it might be bigger conversions, it might be more free trials if you're building software as a service, it might be increasing the revenue. Whatever is the key metric, again, Mary Poppendick was talking a lot about impact-driven development, so whatever are the metrics for impact-driven development, the aim of the team is to improve that. So the team members of project team could be developers, testers, designers, but in product team we also might or might not have marketing guy, we might have sales, we might have a support guy, we might have whoever it takes to improve those metrics. And in the project team process would be something like Scrum, Kanban, might be extreme programming, but the product teams might have something like Lean Startup and EVA. Again, Mary Poppendick had a slide today about it. So those are different processes aimed at improving the product, not the software. We measure progress differently. So in Scrum, for example, we have burnout chart, which shows how much working software were delivered, right? So we have 50%, its definition of done is met, it's delivered, it's pushed to production. So this is how you measure progress in Scrum. In product teams, one of the way you could measure velocity is funnel. So how good conversions are on our side? How many people from those that are coming to our website are actually signing up, getting to free trial? How many of them are actually paying for the services? How many of them are actually quitting every month? So the aim would be to improve the number of users that are paying or reduce the number of people that are quitting using our software. So if you want to learn more, I think there will be more talks, but that one is definitely on the topic, the Lean Startup in a corporate practice, Validate or Die by Agata. Again, I invite you to this talk if you want to learn more about product teams. I think there is one more talk, Lean Startup for Agile Product Management. I'm afraid it's going right now, but yeah. If you can clone yourself, then definitely go to that one. And level 4, scale. So again, it's like extra level. Can we still do it if we're big? So one thing you need to scale is process. You can scale Scrum, you can scale Kanban. Here is an example of something called LESS, which is large scale Scrum. It's the meta process on top of Scrum that shows how to work with teams up to 2,000 people. So the biggest LESS implementations in the world are 2,000 people working in one Scrum implementation. And again, I won't go into many more details. If you want to learn more, I'm having a talk tomorrow, Scaling Scrum with LESS. I invite you to join and learn more. There is also the other framework called Scaled Agile Framework. There is a talk by Tomek right after mine that shows the competitor solution. Finally, there is alignment. So alignment means that everybody in the company is playing and try to achieve the same thing, which is the bigger your organization is, the more product you focused on and less just building a working software, then the alignment is getting more and more tricky. So think about big corporations that have thousands of people and every person have their own interests. So alignment is the way to make sure that everybody's interests are aligned into the same direction. And one tool that is getting really popular recently to get the alignment is V2MOM. V2MOM stands for vision. So what is our vision? What we're trying to accomplish? Values. What are our values? Are they compatible with our corporation? What can we expect from you? Methods. So this is the meat. What are we going to do? Obstacles. What can stop me? And measurements. How do we know we actually achieve what we planned? And V2MOM is made first by the CEO of the company, and then every person in the company, or almost every person, or at least every team in the company, is doing V2MOM, usually quarterly. And we make sure that everybody is trying to achieve what they have in their V2MOMs rather than do whatever is the local politics and interest, showing that is most valuable to do. Couple notes, already told you about it. So if you want to learn more, there is a great talk by Kirejczyk, 5 reasons to use V2MOMs at your company. It's today. I invite you to see that talk. So this presentation was less about any particular topic. It's more to give you a map, what is there, what might be useful for you. So we will find 1 or 2 things that sounds good. You can now go to other presentation and get the knowledge you need. Let me finish with the summary. 4 levels of Agile implementation. 1 is process. From the long distance perspective, it's all about speed. From level 2 is get more speed, or even I would say, don't slow down over the time. The third level is business focus, so product teams. So we don't want to build working software. We want to build value to our customers. And the 4th level is Agile and is scale. So we have alignment and communication to do all those things at the scale. So we talk about waste in lean development. And how much time do I have, sorry?
9 minutes.
Still 9 minutes. Oh my God. I did this presentation before and it took me 2.5 hours. So I tried to shorten it and I shortened it too much. Okay, so good, we're gonna have a longer break then.
Maybe we can take some questions.
Or I can take some questions. So 4 levels of waste in software development, in lean software development. So what Mary Poppendick was talking about today, we estimate bad, we communicate bad, we have unfinished features, we're not delivering on time. You deal with that with the process. On the level 2, you can really get good at hunting bugs and making no bugs, and you can deliver faster than just on level 1, not at the beginning, but eventually, or you can keep the speed as you go. Keep being fast through the months or through the years. At level 3, we have business focus. So we fight with ways of we build not what customer wants. And on the level 4, we still can do it at the scale. And 4 levels of empowerment. So on the level 1, now the teams decide on the process. They improve and change the process. On level 2, team aim for technical excellence. On the level 3, teams improve your business. On level 4, teams can still do all of that while in the bigger company. And how do you know you did a good job on each of those levels? On level 1, if you did the 1 level well, your Scrum Master has very little work to do. If you did the level 2 well, your technical team lead has little to do. If you did the 3rd level good, then your product owner has little to do. And if you did the 4th level well, then your CEO has little to do. I think that was all.